Hello everybody, I'm your host Wheel Trouble, and this is my Let's Play series of Myst 3, Exile. In our last episode we had just finished up Voltaic, and now we're going to go ahead and make our way counterclockwise around the island. So the next age is going to be the age that we had used the squee and magnified his voice to cause fruit to grow. So a little bit odd there, but it goes to kind of preface the age that we're going into. The age that we're going into is a nature-based age, and as such will probably take me the absolute longest. Biology was never my strong suit, and this entire age, the whole purpose is to show the interdependency between flora and fauna, and so complex ecosystems are not my thing. All I really know is that humans are technically apex predators, and I am very grateful for that. Pardon me while I dive into this piece of steak. And I need to figure out the name here soon, so let's go ahead and... If I'm quiet, I'm not actually eating a piece of steak. I do have a drink to the side here, but no, I'm not going to eat and play and try to record a Let's Play. I'm not that skilled. Consult our handy-dandy notes here. If I get quiet, it's just because I'm looking back and forth. Okay. Drag the next one down as well. Okay, there we go. And what is this age called? Adana. Okay. So at least now we have a name for this place, and it's just one gigantic spire sticking out of the water. Okay, we can see the roots. I think this is... So we're basically going to be running around inside of a giant tree. This is odd. There's only one of them. You'd expect with a tree there'd be like a forest from some kind of pollination, things like that. Kind of curious how the writers came about this design plan. And we can hear all those lovely sounds of nature, like the birds. Got the breeze blowing around. And let's see what we can see here. Obviously, we are at the top of the tree, suggesting we need to make our way down, which is interesting because so far the only way I can see to go is up. It's a beautiful view. Absolutely beautiful. And you'll notice there's no stairs. We are completely reliant on plants to get around. So here we go. Those of you that were with me for the real Myst series will appreciate the fact that this is one solid animation, rather than me stumbling around trying to walk up this corkscrew. So, definitely Cyan Studios, thank you for this, rather than making us go through hell. Actually, I think by this point these games were being put out by Ubisoft, so the fact they even got it correct is a miracle. But this is back before you could really just rely on patches to fix your mistakes. Hi, little guy. Okay, so we have this bird here, feeding his young. Oh, they're so cute. Little hatchlings. Throw a Pokeball at it. Okay. And in this age, you do have to kind of take note of things like that because, as funny as it sounds, since this age is about the interdependency of nature, that bird is probably a puzzle piece. Okay, we have a giant ball thing. There's the bird over there. Looks like a spiral staircase, and a cutscene where we're getting to watch the bird, okay. Definitely an interesting one. Alright. Nothing really to do as we walk around but enjoy the scenery. And there's so much going on that it's really hard for me to comment on it, other than, oh look, pretty, so forgive me, I'm not just gonna say ooh pretty over and over again. It just doesn't feel right. Okay, what do we have here? Alright. Okay, so we can aim this at the little ball thing, and there looks to be a little cistern down there. So, what does this button do? Yes, the central portion of the plant is a button. Again, this entire thing is nature-based. Alright. Oh, look, we have a dot. So this plant that we're using acts as a magnifying glass. And so we have now provided liquid for the stalk. So we now have the stair stalk that we can go down. So we've now unlocked that elevator. Alright. Let's go ahead and make our way back for that then. If I can remember which way to go around here. And what is this book? Okay, I am on the path. Jananin. Okay, so if we get totally stuck, this would be the way back. But that would be an absolutely lousy Let's Play if that's the first way I decide to go is back home and just throw in the towel. And I can't get through without getting through this age anyway. That's the advantage of having done the playthroughs a few times, just so that I know I can make it through as quickly and efficiently as possible. Having said that, I'll still get lost in this. I'm sorry, but there's just no way I can get this all in one shot. This particular level is easily my worst one. It's pretty, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, and the thought behind it was absolutely stellar, but it's so easy to get turned around in this age. As I try to get my bearings again. There we go. Okay. I think in real life I would be hugging the stalk for dear life. It's just really odd having to trust. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I did climb trees as a kid for the few places I was at that actually had trees. But yeah, if I felt branches flex under me, things like that, I didn't tend to trust them. Okay, so we are now closer to the core of the tree. And there's plants inside of plants inside of plants. This is nuts. Okay, so we have some kind of electric fish. Alright, so we know where we're going to be getting power from. Now, okay, there's the path. See what I mean? The path is... Since the path is part of nature itself, it's so easy to get turned around in here. And I'm kind of curious about the lighting, too. How much of it was artificial? But you can see here where there's some kind of photosynthetic plant life. Okay, so we push the little button. Fluid comes in. Those claws close. Thank goodness my hand's not in the way. And we have brought the electric fish here. So the electric fish squid thing is apparently one of its kind. So we'll need to drag it along with us. Ooh, we got pages. I have desecrated the poem he placed on the columns. I could no longer stand to see Narayan's artistry in his worlds. I think I can do something with the sap to cover the second one, but I'm not sure what to do about the island. I don't know how to alter the current. Perhaps if I bring in some of the unusual floating stone from Amateria. Something about the... molecular composition of the rock of that age causes it to attract and repel the other stone quite forcefully. Maybe if I introduce some of it to the soil on the island, it will interfere just enough to damage the last poem. I will have to conduct some experiments. And then we're back to the main part of the journal. So, let's go ahead and move on here. Okay. find our way around this lovely tree that I am completely turned around in. That's what I get for staring down at the paper, but since we can't take the... Well, those pages do come with us, I guess. They go straight into the journal. Okay, we're back at the little pod thing with the electric eel, fish, squid. Somebody better with nature just correct me before the next episode, and if you don't get to it in time before I record it, haha, then it sucks to be you. You just get to live with my faux pas through that the entire way. Okay. There's some of those fruits. That doesn't sound good. Sounds like our little bird friend just became some kind of plant snack. So, it's probably a clue. Alright. Make our way around this portion of the tree. What is this? Okay, we open the plant, creates light, and it gives us a walkway. Intriguing. And... okay, so we can pull this down to ride it, but seems that the way is blocked the one way, so let's go over towards this basic trap-looking thing. It's a trap. Okay. What does this crank do? Okay, so it raises the cage. Shake down some of this. Obviously, since we can't pick this up, we just need to get this wherever the cage is. Make sure we're under the cage. Come over here. Okay. Why can't I click? Yeah, if you had trouble seeing that slide, don't feel bad. It took me forever to actually see it, too. Okay, so we're back over here. Ooh, it's the squee. Such a cute little animal. Pretty sure that would fall under rodent. Okay. Ooh, lever. Ooh. We didn't catch him. Oh, okay. Right. So we weren't supposed to actually catch him after all. We used his little chirp to cause the plants to grow just like we did on Jananin. And now, we can go ahead and grab this. And let's go ahead and re-aim, and let's take a ride. Okay, so we made it to the other side. And like a good true Myst, they don't actually leave us completely trapped. We do have this little pathway here. Should we decide to actually use it. And who knows, I may end up backtracking for that fish if I missed one of those bubbles. Okay. So now we go from the nice little purples and pinks to more greenery as we approach the central portion of the plant. Yep, there's our little bird friend. He's stuck in a pitcher plant. And I think that's a nice subtle jab towards the vegetarians there. I honestly don't know that Cyan Studios was making a commentary, but I will. Even plants aren't necessarily vegetarian, guys. So, those of you who were mad about my earlier steak comment, there you go. If it's good enough for the plant kingdom, it's good enough for me. Make our way back up. See if I missed a pathway or something. I feel like I'm missing something, but I just cannot place it. And don't get me wrong, the graphics were great. Okay, there it is. The graphics were great at the time, but... okay, so that's where we were. Let's go ahead and see if we can't figure out where the next little bubble is that we have to push this fish to. I know I can hear the bugs, but I'm so glad they didn't put them in. I'm not really a big fan of the insect kingdom or arachnids or things like that. Just not my favorite thing. So, another gorgeous view of the infinite ocean, which still boggles my mind. We have this beautiful tree here with all this plant life. Surely there should have been some kind of forest here or something. So we have a mural of the children in Atris learning the art and using it to explore. And so... no we don't. It's Cirrus and Akinar and the people around them. That's a little bit creepy and narcissistic of the boys. Which kind of lets you know that these little tours of the ages were not guided tours for the children. Atris took a lot of hands-off parenting, apparently, which, given the nature of these ages and the precarious perches we tend to find ourselves on, like this one, makes you wonder about his parenting. Okay, so this is another magnifying lens that has a very interesting shape to it. I'll just kind of let you guys sort that out in the comments below. Okay, so I can bounce this to that plant, or there's another option there as well. So this would be the light bouncing puzzle. And we can use, okay, yep. So we can use the light to cause a walkway to form. Did you know plants need light? Duh. And it would be very difficult to get light inside the core of this tree trunk. Okay, how do we get down there? Okay, so down past the little spike vine things. I'd expect to see more flower, but... Okay. Looks like we need to be able to fill that somehow. I'm betting the electric fish would come in handy there. Yep. Okay, so we push this little bubble. And it fills up. The spikes kind of close, and that thing just looks absolutely creepy. And we can go back to the magnifying glass and pop it. So let's go ahead and get that done now, make our way back, and hopefully not get completely turned around. And I already have. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to need to completely reposition this because there's no way that that one light is going to hit the right angle. There we go. And the light should... wasn't hot enough, so we'll go ahead and bounce it off that second one there. See if we can't figure out what that second one is actually for. Make our way up. There it is. Now how do I get to it? Go back one, up and around. Can I get up and around? Okay, back one more. That was too far. Okay, seriously, how do I do this? My kingdom for clearly defined paths. Okay, I know I need to get there. How do I get there? Let's just go back the way we came. Or not the way we came, but you know what I mean. Down by the fish and see if this doesn't help us make sense of all of this. Oh, okay, we can kind of duck behind the pod. Where does this go? Oh, okay, that's that vine thing that we're trying to get to. Alright. Can we go up? No. Can't go up. See what I mean? This age is really easy for me to get turned around in. Okay, I don't want to bring the fish up yet. Or back up. That'd be the last thing I want to do. It looks like there should be a path underneath there that goes to it, but I can't seem to figure out where that path is. Because if it's too far, it does no good anyway. But I can't get to that other flower yet. Let's just try to pop this thing again. Well, okay, I know I can aim this one. Let's see if this one does the trick. Maybe the other one's just a fixed one, and we'll see. Okay, can I re-aim this? Where's... I know that this is going to have to go that way. And you'd think that since I've played through this a couple times, that I would have this path down and actually be able to see the path. No. No luck. And, just goes to show how good I would be in nature. I can read a compass and things like that. I'm good with a map. Okay, we can run our way up here. Okay, so we're inside of a tree that's inside of a tree. This is a little bit meta. And this tree kind of splits a little bit. Never mind the mushrooms growing randomly everywhere. Okay, so there's this path that kind of corkscrews off, and then there's just following the tree up. So we need to remember and make a good mental note that this thing does kind of Y off a little bit. Oh, okay, so we need to use this flower to magnify the light. So, okay, we gotta bring the light up to this flower up here. So how to do... It'd help if I could get to the other one so that I could just backtrack straight away, but as you guys have seen, I'm getting turned around like nobody's business in here. Okay. Take the side path. At least what I thought was the side path. Looks like it. And what do we have here? Looks like an elevator of sorts. We've got a vine. And let's not take it quite yet. Let's go ahead and explore just a little longer. Ooh, look, pages. The book sits on the floor of the tusk, its swirling panel reaching tentacle-like arms out to grab me. I want to close my eyes to shut out these false illusions before they suck me into the fog. I do not want those swirling arms to touch me. Why? Why am I so afraid of his book? I want to remember. I must. I think this man may have come to our village, but he was younger then, dark-haired. Tall, wearing those same strange flowing brown robes. He carried a book in his hands then too, and he's always using it, always writing down notes. His eyes are covered by thick glasses, but his face is warm and friendly. He tells me his name. He says it's Atris. I remember now. His name is Atris. Atris says he's come to our village from a faraway place because he wanted to learn about the tree. He says he'll only stay a while, doesn't want to stop our endless labors. He says he wants to help if we'll let him. Oh, Tamra, why did we let him? Keep writing, Savitro. Write everything down. This Atris stayed with us for months. I taught him how to trim the delicate lattice roots, how to splice old and new growths together so the walls of our houses will grow strong. I tell him the traditions of the weave, how by using the spores to support the growing branches, we keep the lattice tree alive. He wants to learn everything, I know. He wants Narayan to survive. I take him to the rift, to where the sea flows through the gaps in the world. Steam flows up from the waterfall. The puffer spores are ready to take flight. We stand in the shadows of dusk and watch the spores begin to rise. He says they look like pearls against the sky. Then he points to one of the spores. It's smaller than the rest, small enough to fit the niche we'd woven into the branches that morning. Its skin is milky white, with just the faintest touch of pink. That one, Atris said. That should support your daughter's room perfectly, I think. I remember I nodded. Then I raised my pipe and played. Atris stood beside me, holding his breath as my song drew the hollow spore in close. As soon as it was near, he threw the net and dragged it in. This is what I remember. This is why I said he could send me his sons. Okay. And we're basically back to the book at that point, so let's go ahead and move on. At least now we know why Cirrus and Achenar were in Narayan in the first place, and why Savidro and Atris had come to that agreement. It appears that Atris actually did trust Savidro and actually thought of him as a friend. So, once again, Atris is hands-off parenting. We've already seen the kind of damage Cirrus and Achenar could do when left to their own devices. It's good to know that Savidro at least survived, considering Cirrus and Achenar had killed everyone in the 4 ages we had found on Myst Island. So there's that small comfort. At least some people survived their tyrannical rule. Okay. Now, that's right, we were busy trying to get this stupid electric squid thing. Okay. And I hear rustling again. I think that bird is getting digested slowly. Very, very slowly. Still can't figure out how to go back there to see what that aims at. That bugs me. Anyway, moving on. Okay, let's look through the nifty-looking portal again. Since that walkway didn't do us terribly much good in the first place. Seems like I should be able to hit something else with this that would at least go up to that magnifying glass we were originally looking at. What does this one do? Looking around, looking around. Seriously just doesn't do it. So I really do have to choose between one of these two. Can't move that one. Alright, we'll just go with that. It's got to be there for a reason, right? It can't be a complete red herring. And this episode's turning rather long with me just getting stuck beating my head against the wall here. No. It kind of looks like it should be a path. But no. Okay. Oh, okay, it is lighting up the one across the way, so if I can get to that one, maybe I can re-aim it into the magnifier? Maybe? So, that's where we'll pick up next time. So, that will be episode 5. See you guys in the next episode. Wheel Trouble out.